Alright, let's dive into this whole Brewers Skubal situation, because it's a perfect example of how trade deadlines can be both thrilling and utterly frustrating for fans and teams alike. Here's the deal, the Brewers were in the running to land Tarik Skubal, a two-time Cy Young winner, but ultimately lost out to the Dodgers. Now, on the surface, this might seem like just another trade that didn't go their way, but personally, I think there's a lot more to unpack here. First off, what makes this really interesting is the Brewers' approach. They reportedly offered a package of 3 prospects, all hitters, with at least 2 being top 100 guys. One of them was Luis Pena, who's ranked 18th overall. Now, in my opinion, that's a pretty solid offer. But here's the kicker, the Tigers wanted a controllable major league pitcher in the deal. This raises a deeper question, why did the Brewers not include one? Was it a strategic decision, or did they simply not have the right piece to match the Dodgers' offer? From my perspective, this highlights a bigger trend in trade negotiations. Teams aren't just looking at prospect rankings, they're evaluating fit, control, and immediate impact. The Dodgers, for instance, included River Ryan, a top 100 pitcher, which likely tipped the scales. But what many people don't realize is that the Brewers might have been hesitant to part with their own MLB-ready pitchers, especially if they're banking on a deep playoff run this year. It's a fine line between strengthening your roster and weakening your future. One thing that immediately stands out is the emotional response from the Brewers' side. Manager Pat Murphy acknowledged that the team was affected by the outcome, which is understandable. But what this really suggests is that the Brewers saw Skubal as more than just another player, they saw him as a potential game-changer, someone who could pair with Jacob Misiorowski to form a dominant 1-2 punch. If you take a step back and think about it, that's a huge missed opportunity, especially if they end up facing the Dodgers in the postseason. Now, let's talk about the Dodgers for a second. They've become the go-to team for blockbuster trades, and it's not hard to see why. They have the prospects, the financial flexibility, and the willingness to go all in. But here's where it gets fascinating, the Brewers, despite not landing Skubal, still managed to make some solid moves. They acquired Dustin May and Jojo Romero, giving up 2 of their top prospects in the process. This shows that they're not just sitting on their hands, they're actively trying to improve, even if it means missing out on the big fish. A detail I find fascinating is how the players themselves are reacting. Sal Frelick, for example, didn't seem too discouraged, saying no one in the clubhouse is begging for a big move. Garrett Mitchell echoed this, emphasizing their underdog mentality. Personally, I think this speaks volumes about the team's culture. They're not relying on one player to carry them, they're focused on what they can control. And that, in my opinion, is a mindset that could take them far, even without Skubal. If we zoom out, this whole situation is a reminder of how unpredictable and complex trade deadlines can be. It's not just about who offers the most, it's about who offers the right pieces. The Tigers clearly prioritized a major league-ready pitcher, and the Dodgers delivered. The Brewers, on the other hand, might have overestimated the value of their prospects or underestimated the Tigers' needs. Either way, it's a learning moment for both sides. So, where does this leave the Brewers? Well, they're not out of the race by any means. They've made moves to strengthen their pitching staff, and they've got a team that believes in their ability to compete. But here's the thing, if they do end up facing the Dodgers in the playoffs, this Skubal trade will loom large. It'll be the elephant in the room, the what-if scenario that fans and analysts will dissect for years. And that, in my opinion, is what makes this story so compelling. In the end, this isn't just about a trade that didn't happen, it's about the decisions, the strategies, and the emotions that shape a season. It's a reminder that in baseball, as in life, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you just have to sharpen your sword and move forward. So, what do you think? Did the Brewers miss their shot, or are they better off focusing on what they've got? Let me know in the comments below.